Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. It's still Screamtober. Hi, I'm Carshénah with Versefilmsproductions, and you don't want to miss, we're doing a video a day, every day up until Halloween. This week is horror video games and horror comics. Let's get started. I am coming to give some reviews to you today, guys, and it's a brand new month, and we're going to be talking about Killadelphia. That's right, Killadelphia by Image, and this was written by Rodney Barnes, and also we have our artist Jason Sean Alexander and Louis NCT. What up, my Vampire the Masquerade? Now let's get right straight into Killadelphia. So let me just give you a couple of biography rundowns of everyone that's on the team. Rodney Barnes, if you don't know, and you should know, now you know, Rodney is an award-winning writer / producer of television, film, and comics. His credits include HBO's, Showtime's, Hulu's Wu-Tang is Coming to Get You. Anyway, Wu-Tang and American Saga, Marvel's Runaways, Stars, American Gods, and The Boondocks. Everyone has seen The Boondocks, right? Exactly. My Wife and Kids, Everybody Hates Chris. Rodney, I was on 2 episodes of Everybody Hates Chris, so hello, fam. And the Academy Award. So Rodney has a long list of being in the industry, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's writing about. Jason Sean Alexander. Jason is an artist / writer who has worked in comics for over 20 years, which is, as we all know, it's evident, receiving 2 Eisner Award nominations and the Silver Medal from the Society of Illustrators. Hello, I'm an artistic scholar, which I love that. Alongside his comics career, Jason exhibits his fine artwork in galleries in Los Angeles, New York, London, Berlin, and has shown in the National Portrait Gallery at the Smithsonian. What? The Smithsonian? I didn't even know that information. Kudos to you, scholar. And it is evident, and we'll go over that. Louis NCT. That's right. What up, my Vampire the Masquerade? Louis is a Mediterranean storyteller, illustrator, painter, writer, and colorist who has been creating and self-publishing comic books since high school. So I really hope you're not 17, because high school for you would have been just last year that you graduated and you got this awesome job. Hallelujah. No, I know you're much older than that, but awesome that you've been working ever since then. You studied at Polytechnic University of Valencia and began your career as an illustrator creating work for role-playing games and films. So guys, with a long list like this comic is something for you to go pick up. Let me again show you the cover art for it, which is awesome, really good. And then you have like this missing. It also has some quotes from Chris Rock and Jordan Peele. And as you know, if Chris Rock is talking about it and Jordan Peele is rocking about it, that is right. If they are talking about it, something is coming up. Now, I'm not going to give everything away. You will not see me give everything away. But let's just put it this way. I will give you my Cliff Notes version, and hopefully you can follow along. So you have one of the characters, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I want you guys to go and buy it for yourself and read it for yourself. Again, this is from Image. Retails $3.99. As always, I give my price points. I give who is it by, or what company or has produced it and is bringing it out to everyone. And this is called Sins of the Father Part 1. Which means that there's going to be a part 2, which means there's going to be a long line series for this tale, and I'm really excited. So this one, here's your Cliff Notes. Guy comes home to bury father. Father has some secrets that he keeps in a journal in which he talks about what has transpired leading up to his death. Now, what has transpired leading up to his death? It really brings about the mystery of the line of police business. And his dad is investigating some of these homicides that's happening in the streets. It's haunting him because he's noticing that some of the things happening to the bodies are not normal per se. And of course, when something is not normal, it's abnormal, and it becomes, sort of supernatural that somebody's blood is bled out, all of it has been drained, but then you have all these bites on them. So, it's not like an attack of a dog like they always try to say, but werewolves. It was just attacked by a big dog. No, it was a werewolf. You saw the moon last night. So this one is similar to this, where the dad in his line of police work knows something is going on. Unfortunately, he does die. Like I said before, nothing new. The young son is coming home to bury his father, who also is in the same line of work. He also is a detective as well. So it also brings about, okay, dad wasn't able to solve this case. Let's look at what's going on. Maybe I can help what's going on. Now, some of the paneling I really enjoy, because here you have like the sort of the squares like in the pink or the salmon. I think it's salmon. And it's giving you the inside scoop of what the dad was writing in the journal. And I really appreciate that. So all my new comic book readers who are not used to different panels and different words on the screen, that's not like a bubble. This is going to invoke something that's going to be in a past tense or something that is a passage of time. And this is what this is. The writing of this, literally the penmanship looks as if like someone is literally writing a journal from back in the day. And I really enjoyed the penmanship, like the J for the John Adams here. I mean, I don't write my J's like that. I write my J's like this. I got my J's on my feet. I got my J's on my feet. Anyway, but my J's are a little bit different. That shows that good penmanship from back in the day, because I don't think kids are learning good penmanship these days, but this is really good. And then it goes on to the rest of the scene. Now, I will say this is wordy, and you know how I talk about wordy comics. Wordy comics, I either chuck you or I just try to get through it and as best I can to see if I can make heads or tail of it. But this one, as wordy as it is, I got through it only because it needed to be wordy. It needed to tell me the story of the background of the dad, how he found out, what was going on. And we need to have that sort of writing where this guy is reading his dad's journal, so he's got to be thrown back into this reminiscent era of when his dad was on the beat trying to figure out these homicides and trying to solve these murders. So I get it. I understand the wordiness of it. And the wordiness only came from when we were reading the journal entries. Now, the journal entries, like I said, are long, they're tedious, so get through it as best as you can if you pick this up, but they will give you more to the story than what you are looking for. Now, as along the journey, the young son, he comes up, he's asking all these questions, trying to solve the case of his dad, as well as maybe help in this unsolved mystery that his dad does. And then all of a sudden, cue 1970s Black exploitation. Sucker. That's all I got from in my head all of a sudden, because he finally goes into the same area, the same place where his dad died. And I literally thought, okay, cue music. Where's the script going? Because is this going to be the end? Is this guy going to die? Like, he knew his dad was going into this apartment place. And then he's going to the same place. He thinks years later that it's going to be okay. No, it has a reputation of people dying and people, being killed. So why would you go there? I mean, I get it. He's a cop and that's what cops do. But I felt like if this was a Black person, like in a Black movie.
Reporting live for Black TV. White folks are dead. We're getting the f*** out of here. Let's roll, Jack. Let's go.
They'd be like, no, brother, don't go in there. Don't be looking inside of a building that people die. It's like one of the things that we have a joke about when Black people die in horror movies. You're just like, mm-mm. We're not going into that abandoned building. Mm-mm. We're not going to that cemetery. Mm-mm. We're not going into where the Chainsaw Massacre is coming running to us. We're not going to run to him. No. But this guy, he goes. So it's very funny. It's very intriguing. I like that aspect. Now, let's move on to the colors and the the artwork. So if you're not familiar with Jason Sean Alexander, some of you may be with him doing some of the artwork for Spawn with Todd McFarlane. Shout out to you, Todd McFarlane. What up? But he has the tendency to do this sort of splatter for his characters. Gives it a more fine art, more of a Frasier type of feel to his artwork because it is fine art. It's looking as if like the brushstrokes are like more of a highbrow brushstroke of a watercolor to me. I mean, I'm not sure this is watercolor. It could be, like you said, ink and acrylic. I get it. But it looks and it appears to be like that with the brushstrokes, but they're very nice. And you can see where the character is coming out of those strokes as well as coming out of the splatter. And I really enjoyed that. It gives it a different feel to the comic. And if you look and if you notice in the upper corner here, it looks like it's overlaid with something as well. And I really enjoyed that. So that's one instance. This is what I'm talking about with the splatter. If you can see right here with the headstone, you see it like coming out of it. Oof. It's almost like a splatter, like when you're playing like a video game and it's like, get over here, and it whoosh, and then like you all of a sudden have all this splatter come out, like the blood droplets are coming down. But this is really nice. And it takes some skill to make sure that this is part of the actual character or story or the thing that is being written. Now the colors are dark. It's a vampire story, obviously. No, it's not Blackula. And no, it doesn't remind you too much of that blaxploitation, but it does have a similar feel to it where I feel like there's going to be like a Black Dracula coming out of nowhere and everything is going to ensue. And then, of course, people are going to die. But you do have the colors in here very muted, very raw. I think the only brightness, I believe, is in the whites of the characters, such as like the doctor for the lab coat. You have sort of the doors, maybe computers that are very white and bright. Everything else is dark and muted. They give like a tinge of these hues, like these dark blues and purple hues. And the only other color, even the reds, are very muted. It's not like, oh, vampire, the blood comes out. It's not that red because, I mean, hello, do you not prick me? Do I not bleed? Yes, you bleed. You bleed red, but you don't bleed that red. I mean, honestly. So I really appreciate that they know their color scheme. Thanks, guys, for knowing your color scheme. Red blood is not that red. But anyway, so that's what's going on with that. I mean, just look at that. Looks pretty cool. Anyway, guys, go read KILLADELPHIA. That's right. Sins of the Father, Part 1. This is a nice read, guys. Get through it. And this is rated M for mature, so it is mature for some audience members. And I think it's a nice read. So go check it out, guys. One more time. Look at some of the fantastic things. Storyline is great. So I cannot wait for Part 2. Thanks, Rodney. Thanks, Jason Sean. Thanks, Louis. Thank you, guys, and I cannot wait. This was a sneak peek of Part 2 in the back as well. So good job. Today we have a special guest with us, and I mean special guest. It is the Rodney Barnes. That is right. The writer for KILLADELPHIA. KILLADELPHIA. That is right. Artist is Jason Sean Alexander. Colors by Louis NCT. So, guys, hold on to your hats. We're going to be joining them live in just a moment. Skits is also dropping in as well. And as you know, we've got some good announcements coming up soon. So here we go. We're going to be adding Skits to the chat. Hello, Skits.
Hey there. How's it going today, man?
Everything is going well. We also have our special guest, Rodney Barnes, in the house.
Hello. I wish I had your energy. I wish I could match your energy. I would do anything to have your energy.
Is all day, every day. Wake up, middle of the day, at night. I bounce off the walls. Why? I've got breath in my body. It is. So, Rodney, thank you so much. A lot of people out there were like, what? How'd you get Rodney Barnes on your show? And I'm like,
I just asked.
I'm happy to talk all things Philadelphia and horror and all types of stuff.
Why vampires and why now? I mean, you could have written about a new wave of pandemics, a new wave of post-apocalyptic tales, or even brought back the devil himself. So why vampires?
This isn't new. It's just like anything that sort of cracks through. I've been trying to get this story told for about 10 years. My manager will tell you, I tried as a film, I tried as a TV show, I tried in a myriad of ways to, to grab people, but there was a disconnect someplace between vampires. Either I was on the wrong end of the first time I took the screenplay out that I had written, someone said vampire in Brooklyn didn't work, black vampires won't work. TV went anywhere, didn't go anywhere. So once I started to get into comics, it was like, hey, why not take a shot at it, doing it as a comic? And Jason, Shawn, Alexander and I became friends on another project. And I pitched it to him and he loved it. And so he had an in at Image because of his work with Spawn.
Right.
And he pitched it to the powers that be at Image and they dug it. And here we are.
I want to give a big thank you to our special guest, Rodney Barnes. Hey, Rodney, what's going on? Thank you so much for being on our show. Come Get Some Live. That's right. Come Get Some Live we had a special with him. He talked about Killadelphia. I mean, that's kind of like the unincorporated, sort of unauthorized, like sort of rap song for Killadelphia. 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 You see the K that I'm doing? Okay. Anyway, guys, we want to give him a big shout out to say thank you very much for coming on the show, talking about Killadelphia. We talked about a lot of things as far as issue 1 all the way to the ending arc of issue 6 before it begins with issue 7. He told us that Killadelphia is not going to be a what up TV series. What up TV series? So casting wise, hint, hint, hint. We just want to say thank you very much for those tidbits. And guys, get this. Ask and ye shall receive. Rodney Barnes, can you see this? Signed a special issue just for us, the Killadelphia crew that supports. I mean, his signature is actually really, really cool. But anyway, guys, we got a issue number 5 signed by Rodney Barnes, writer and creator of Killadelphia. As you know, the front cover is done by Jason, Shawn, Alexander. So that's awesome. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And a little tidbit for you. This was actually a picture of his daughter, Brittany, who makes it in the book. She is vicious. She is good. So hold on to your hats, the Barnes family. This is also issue number 5, the variant cover by Neil Adams. Guys, this is a really cool cover. I mean, this is really nice. I hope you guys can see that. So we have issues 5, the variant cover as well. And we have issue 6. That's right, the conclusion of Sins of the Father for Killadelphia. But this is issue 6, the Covenant issue 6. I think we're going to put this like in those like the covers, the clear ones that have like the rating system and every slabs. We want to put this in a slab, so I'm going to hold it delicately. And this is really nice. What is going on with that? With your story arc number 2, Rodney?
Yeah, I just wanted to expand the world a little bit. Some of the characters within the John and Abigail Adams crossings and dealings over time. I felt like Sally Hemings, and was certainly with her association with Thomas Jefferson, would make a fine addition to the Killadelphia world.
Yes, and she surely did. And again, I was clutching my pearls. I was like, oh, Rodney, this is going to be for HBO special. I know it. Oh, I just know it. This is not going to be on the regular networks. And it's a great storyline to add in that process are you thinking of ways to think out of the box, or are you just pulling what you feel will motivate the storyline, the arc, and say, you know what, like you said, with the Thomas Jefferson familial background, this will propel it for maybe another story. Maybe she can have a little backstory on her own type deal, like how she became. Is that something that you look forward to when you're looking for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the pattern of how the Philadelphia stories come to be, you'll see that virtually every character has had some semblance of a backstory. Certainly, if they come from the past, and I try to shine a light on them, even if you forget about them, from issue to issue. Like Toppy had a story about being in Deadwood in his time, and Brittany had a story about having been, a slave during the Civil War, and I try to explore as much as. Yep, that's my girl.
There she is.
That's my girl. I try my best to, just dig as deeply as I can to create some semblance of mythology beyond. If they're based on an actual person, I have to create a bridge between what's real and what's not real. And then certainly the same thing with characters that I come up with. So in both cases, they each have their own history, their own particular backstory that I'd love to be able to explore when the time is right.
Then we find out why Brittany is who she is, and how she got to become a little baby vamp. A little baby vamp is because she actually was part of the John Adams, Abigail Adams crew. She was a slave along with her sister and her family. They got sold back in the day. Slavery, bad. No more slavery, bad. Anyway, that was your PSA, by the way. And so she has been a vampire for almost over 150 years. So she has some chops, you know what I mean? She's got them chops, she's got them overbites to come get you. And we find that out a little bit more of this. Also in part 4, we see that there was a huge explosion that happened. John Adams, yes, the president, wanted to, let's say, do a new world order. A new world order. He wanted a new world order of vampires in the city of Philadelphia, known as Killadelphia. And this is part of it. So we look at this. The pages are really, really nice. Jason Shawn Alexander is doing what he does best. He is giving us the feels of what is going on with the characters in the book. I mean, you've got a lot of these shadows, and you've got a lot of these dark colors, and you've got a lot of things that bring out the character when you're reading it. I mean, for instance, this is Brittany crying, and she's crying blood. I mean, you can't get any more symbolic than that. You also have a picture of when Brittany and her sister are meeting Abigail Adams for the first time as slaves, as young children. And so you get that sense of history, and you get that sense of where they're coming from. And Jason Shawn does a great job to portray this. Now, we also get Tevin, which is also another main character. His nickname, his street name is Seesaw. Yeah, like a seesaw. And word on the street is, as they call him now, the new Benedict Arnold, because he was part of John Adams' crew, and he wanted, mess stuff up, and he thought that, yeah, we can do this whole new world order, but it ain't happening. He was giving something very special to take care of, and he learned the secrets, so to speak, the vampire secrets in his spirit and his mind. Not to take over, not to do any of this other stuff that John Adams wants to do, the savior of the city. He actually wants to set things right by having things come into fruition on its own. So he kind of has sort of a change of heart in that. So it's a really good conclusion for Tevin for that character. As well as, yes, Sangster Jr., Jimmy. of Jimmy Sangster Jr., he's having sort of a little love affair with Josie. She is the ME. She's also the coroner, and they're starting to get a little, intimate here and there. And so we see that kiss that happened in issue 4. Now we see like a little hint of flirtatiousness with those two. And his dad, as you know, who becomes a vampire, actually finds out and sees it. And I love the fact that in the drawing, you can actually see it when they do have a little hand touch right here, and his dad's like in the background. He's all looking like, oh, the feels, little subtle things like that. Another thing that Rodney Barnes gave us, and shout out to you again, Rodney Barnes, is that he said that Brittany, or Jason Sean, so they come look for him if he comes up missing, drew him in the comic and also drew his death. Can I just say that's gory and awesome and just unquenchable thirst from Brittany, who is basically taking off the head of her dad, which is right here running. Now, I mean, it's funny in a way, because I know parents out there and I know kids out there, like, parents just don't understand. Thank you, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff. So maybe he did like an homage to that, like, I'm going to get you and, you don't understand me. Blood starts to spray everywhere. But I like to think that it was just something that he put in there just to give, sort of that, funny haha to it. Another thing that I really, really enjoyed about issue number 5, and we say it again, is you can see the love of Kolchak right here. You can see him right there. A character that was in the late 70s, early 80s, Kolchak. He was always investigating the supernatural, and Rodney Barnes does an homage to him, Carl Kolchak. He's got like the hat, he's got like the old school style camera, as well as he's got that face and has a recording. So that is a shout out to Kolchak, the Night Stalker, and we really appreciate that. And it's really, really nice. So kudos to that for issue number 5. Thank you very much. I hope that you've been enjoying Screamtober right here on the channel. I'm Carshénah with Verse Films Productions, so hit that notification bell as we do a video a day, every day, up until Halloween. We hope to see you at the next one. Take care and have a great scare.